Hi, my name is Jay. That's what I'm going to go by. And this is my first booktube video as a millennial who was taught by my parents not to talk to strangers on the internet. This feels a little bit uncomfortable, but um, I am a huge booktube fan. I've been watching booktube for years, and I have a wonderful fiance who knows this and contributes to this giant library that you see behind me. And so he was like, I think that you would be a great voice in that community. So here we are with a tiny mic and tripod and a dream. So I kind of thought that for my first booktube video, I would just do a haul, kind of show you what my taste in books are, what I like, what I'm interested in reading, etc. If you hear tippy tapping, my dogs are coming in, so don't mind that. And yeah, so if you're here, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. I know that you probably see quite a bit of manga on the wall, but I love a wide variety of genres. I love literary fiction. I love fantasy. I love sci fi. I love horror. I love romance. So hopefully you'll find something here that you like as well. So let's talk about all the books that I've recently purchased. Let's start with our book of the month picks for May. If you are a book of the month member, then you know as well as I do that picking Silver Elite. I'm not going to say it was a mistake. I haven't read it. So, I mean, maybe it'll be a 5-star read for me, but it definitely caused some shipping delays, as we all know. So, I just actually got my box at the end of this month and I had 4 picks. I picked up a Curse Carved in Bone. This is the sequel to A Fate Inked in Blood, which I'm currently about 25% of the way through right now. It feels like a 4-star read. I'm having a good time. I don't think it's like groundbreaking by any means, but I'm having more fun than I typically do with Romantasy, which I guess is all that matters. So I love Romantasy. I think it's super fun, but I'm just kind of picky because it's kind of like, I don't know, like the copy paste vampire genre right now, if that makes sense. After Twilight came out, where like every book had vampires. So, and it's like, I like vampires, but I want a little originality. And that's kind of how I feel about romance fantasy. So I'm having a good time with Freya and Yorn. And I picked up the second one and I hope that I continue to have a good time. But for $11.99 for an add on, I committed to the bit. The next book I got is actually a debut. It is Deep Cuts. I'm really excited for this. I'm probably going to say that about every book. Sorry. Daisy Jones and the Six is probably top 5 books of all time for me. My top 5 are probably like Shark Heart, Daisy Jones and the Six, Vicious. I don't know my other 2 off the top of my head right now, and that's fine. But I feel like that tells you what I care about, which is pretty words, characters, and some magic. And anyway, did I say characters? I don't remember, but I love Daisy Jones. I read it in like 2 days, and I've heard that this is comparable. Um, as a girly pop who also goes to small bars downtown and enjoys the music scene, I'm not by no means a music snob, but I heard really good things about this. I love the like chemistry that the like story is describing between the 2 leads and how like the music contributes and clashes all of that. So I've seen a couple of booktubers pick this up recently and nobody's like crying, but everybody seems to like at least think it's a 4-star read. So I think this will speak to me. And I really love Book of the Month for like putting debut authors in. And so I want to like try this for that specific reason. Um, the third book I got is Alive Day. Alive Day is a memoir about the widow of a veteran. I didn't look very much into this other than I know that it talks about kind of like the machine that is the VA, the machine that is opioid addiction through the VA, the way that PTSD is handled in veterans. My fiance is a veteran, 7th generation. My brother is a veteran. My best friend's brother is a veteran. And so I just was so curious and moved by the tidbits that I've seen online. And although I think there are many of these stories being told. I don't know that many of them are getting the platform that they should be getting. And as someone who works in healthcare and sees a lot of that just in the general population, I think giving the veterans and their spouses a voice is important. And so I don't know. I read the first couple pages and I was compelled. So I hope that if you haven't heard of it, you're interested in it, that you would pick it up. And she's also a debut author, so I think it's important to give debut authors a voice, regardless of the content of their books, but especially this content. So, and the last book, which we all know, is Silver Elite. Listen, I read that this was Hunger Games for adults, and I said, add to cart. Like, I didn't care about the sprayed edges. They're a nice bonus. I appreciate them. I didn't care that it was 500 pages because when I got here, I definitely cared, but at the time I didn't. Listen, I loved Fourth Wing. I ate it up. I love the Hunger Games. I ate it up. Those are not the same caliber of story, so I'm very curious how this is going to mix together. I'm not saying it's going to be good, but I feel like if this book does for me kind of what Watermelon does when I'm laying out by a pool in July, I'll be good. Does that make sense? It's not the best experience I've ever had, but it's like, if it brings me joy and produces endorphins in the same way that Sunshine does, we'll be good with the 3-week shipping delay. Like, that's all I'm looking for here. Took a little break to move some stuff around. I'm going to show you what I got next. The next haul are from 3 different bookstores. I have Barnes & Noble that I go to on a fairly regular basis, despite the fact that it's like a 40-minute drive for me. I also go to 2 local bookstores very rarely, not because I don't want to support them, but because I kind of live in the middle of nowhere. They're like 40-minute drives. So it's a little bit of, I don't want to say work because it's not. You get in the car and drive there, but I don't go. It's it's not a 5-minute trip to the mall for me. So these are all the books that I've accumulated from those bookstores. I had a credit from Barnes & Noble and gift cards from 2 of the local bookstores. So I did some damage this month, like we talked about. So if you're here to judge, you're on the wrong channel, because I promise no one is judging me harder than myself. And I would say my fiance, but he honestly gave me $20 to go to Barnes & Noble today. So I feel like he's just happy they're not $400 handbags. Anyway, so I went to Barnes & Noble with my best friend, and I picked up the Kingdom of the Wicked books. I saw that Allie was reading them. I saw that she gave the first 2 5 stars. I definitely can hear my dogs crying in the background to go pee. Un momento, please. I saw Allie reading the Kingdom of the Wicked series. I have been like very curious. I've had it on my TBR for a while, and then I went to Barnes & Noble and I saw that they had the new like special Barnes & Noble editions. They were like $13 each, which I felt like was pretty reasonable, like $40 for a whole series. So I went ahead and grabbed those. I love the purple. I'm hoping I really enjoy them. I think I'm going to move them up pretty high on my TBR. My only hesitation is I've been reading quite a bit of fantasy, and I love fantasy. It's probably my favorite genre. My favorite genre. But when I read too many in a row, like they're all at least 400 pages. So I will probably read a little like murder mystery or a little romance or a little manga. I don't know. Just so I don't hit a slump, and then I'll probably bang those bad boys out. So additionally at Barnes & Noble, I picked up, where is it? This today. This is a newer release. I don't know. Listen, I was a Disney kid. I was a Last Unicorn kid. I was a Black Beauty kid. I was an Emperor's New Groove kid. I don't know if that's pertinent. This is about a girl who gets married because she has to. Love a forced marriage. Not really, and her husband is cursed and turns into a horse by day and a man by night. and then they have to go on the run because the kingdom is convinced that she killed him after their marriage. I don't know. Magical Horse Boy, say less. Like, that's all I really needed. I just thought this would have been adapted into a beautiful 20th Century Fox animation film in the 90s. And as a 90s baby, this is speaking to me. So I picked this up today. I hope it's good. It came out only in paperback, so I don't know if it's a smaller author, debut author, but I'm really excited. This is like tickling some part of my brain that has not been messed with in a while. So rapid fire. So I got When the Wolf Comes Home from Aardvark this month. This is a horror by Nat Cassidy. I saw that this was supposed to be like an ode to 80s horror movies. Don't move the mic away from your face. And I think it's about werewolves. This is what I do. I log into my book subscriptions and I read the first page. And if I like it, I add it to the box. So that's what I did this month. I feel like Aardvark always has such diverse options. And I love that. I like horror. I don't know that I would do horror like every single day or like pick it up by myself if I saw this at Barnes & Noble, but I saw this and I thought it looked so interesting and I'm really excited for it. All the reviews I've seen are like, I read it in one sitting, but I'm a baby, so I'm probably gonna have to start at like 8 in the morning so I can finish by 4 so that I don't have nightmares by my 9 p.m. bedtime. The next 3 were all gifted to me by my fiance. He's the best. Anyway, we just had our anniversary earlier this month and sorry, he's the best. These are the 3 that he has gotten for me. The Missing Half by Ashley Flowers. I'm not a thriller person. I've read like a couple, but it's not what compels me most of the time, unless it's like a haunted house thriller or like a psychological thriller. But we listen to Crime Junkie when we drive across country to go on road trips, go to national parks, go to wherever. And so I read All Good People Here 2 years ago with my best friend, and I knew this one was coming out. I saw it. It was buy one, get one 50% off. I'm going to eat this up. It is a small little baby, and this is on my June TBR. But so that's the first one. The second one that he got me was the Barnes & Noble edition of Great Big Beautiful Life. Okay, this is going to be an unpopular opinion. I have never read an Emily Henry book, okay? I know in the year 2025 that is crazy. Funny story is behind me. I think I bought Beach Read with one of my girlfriends because I liked this pretty edition that they made out last year. So I have 2 Emily Henry books. Should I start with this one? Probably not, but you want to know what sold it? I am an Ali Hazelwood stan. I love her. I've read everything that she's put out other than Check and Mate and Deep End because I like to save them until the new releases come out. I don't want to like power through them and then not have any if I'm like in a slump. Anyway, and I was seeing reviews online and they were like, this book is like Ali Hazelwood man and TJR writing. I love Taylor Jenkins Reid. I told you guys Daisy Jones was a 5-star read for me. So I was like, this one is speaking to me. I don't know what the Emily Henry fangirls are being like, oh, I didn't like it as much as like a 3-star. I'm like, I'm so sorry for you, but this sounds right up my alley. So the pink edition is beautiful. I'm really excited. So this is on my summer TBR for sure. I don't know that it takes place during summertime, but I just see this big fat pink book and it screams summer to me. So the last one that my fiance bought me is Shield of Sparrows. I love how I was like, I'm a little sick of romantasy. Here's 6 of them. I saw Brady on Instagram talking about Devney Perry and how she is incredible on Kindle Unlimited, and this is her first like dive out of contemporary romance into like fantasy romance. And Brady and I have very not similar tastes at all, but we both read Wild Dark Shore and she gave it 5 stars. I gave it 5 stars. And I guess that was enough for me to trust her judgment. And then now this is all over TikTok, I guess. I'm old. I don't have the TikTok. Anyway. So, But I'm really excited for this. This is my July pick with my two best friends in our personal book club. So because I've been reading so much fantasy, I was like, I really want to like this. So just like give me a month to like reset. So it's also like 500 pages, and it's a big bitch. So we picked a little shorter one for June because we've been reading some big bitches the last couple months. So I got books 2 and can I do this? No, I can't. This is not cute. Book 3 in the Ember and the Ashes series. I got the first one for like $6, and then I saw these when I was with my girlfriends. And I saw, I don't know, another booktuber. You guys are gonna get really sick of me name dropping. I swear it's not on purpose. I literally just consume that much booktube content. Read an Ember in the Ashes, give it 5 stars. Read this one, I think, give it 4. And I think I saw Carrie read Air. And basically, I haven't seen anyone not give this less than 3 stars. But most of the content I consume, I feel like it's been 4. So I've kind of been craving like a good, just like fantasy, man. Like, but I don't want to read. I don't want to read like 1,000-page Sanderson. So I'm gonna try these, see how they go. I've committed to the bit. I know there's one more. The editions that they had at the bookstore were a little out of whack. So, yeah, I got these 2. I'm actually really excited. I think that I'll enjoy these. These seem up my alley. Next, hi. You might not know this about me because we just met. I am a psychopath. Anyway, why would you know anything about me? This is my first video. So in addition to being a Star Wars nerd, a Disney adult, a national parks nerd, anyway, here's my point. I like musical theater, okay? Unsurprising given all the other things that I've told you about myself. So I was stalking the Aardvark Reddit to see like what people wanted in June, and I saw this. And I think it was a mid-May release. So people were like, sometimes Aardvark has it. I was like, I don't care if Aardvark is adding it. I'm going to get it because I love Sweeney Todd. I love Tim Burton. I loved this movie. I am dying that it was back on Broadway with Josh Groban and I couldn't go. So and then I also love Wicked, and I just read all the Wicked years. I just finished the 4 books, and Gregory Maguire blurbed this, and I said, say less. Add to cart, say less. Anyway, so I don't know if I'm going to hold out for this for spooky season. I'm so sorry. My dog is crying in the background. She wants to go outside, but it's so hot. Anyway, so I don't know if I'm going to save this for spooky season or if I'm like all in right now. I kind of like reading spooky stuff when it's hot outside, which is weird. I cannot be held by genre or time or season. I'm literally the worst. So, yeah, I'm really excited. I think this is just kind of like the same idea of Wicked, but for Mrs. Lovett. So just like a retelling, and I'm like pumped. I hope this is so good. I want this to be 5 stars. You know, like when you're almost afraid to start something because you're like, oh my God, if it's 3 stars, I'm going to be devastated. That's how I feel about this. Because Wicked is a 5-star read for me. The rest of the Wicked years are not, and that's fine. But if this hits the way that Wicked did for me like 10 years ago, I would die. Okay, so we have 4 books left, and then I swear to God I'm done. So I picked up the sequel to the Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love. Excuse me. I haven't finished the first one yet, but I've been craving a historical romance. I just finished, like I said, I just finished Our Infinite Fates, and I've kind of been in the mood for like, I'm like, do I want to read Pride and Prejudice? Do I want to read Little Women? Do I want to read The Rose Bargain? But I'm also trying to complete my Book of the Month challenge, like the 15 books or whatever, to you can win the prize. Do I know what the prize is? No. Is it only May? Do I have lots of time? Yes. But so I was looking at my challenge and I saw that I bought the first one of this book and I haven't read it yet. So then I was like, well, if I'm going to read the first one this month, I might as well commit to the second. I also had a coupon, so valid. Anyway, so that is on my TBR for June. I'm going to say that a lot. You're going to learn this about me really quickly, that I am a mood reader. I cannot be held accountable to anything that I'm saying about my TBRs other than the ones I'm reading with my best friends, because they will text me and be like, I'm on page 60. Have you started yet? I'm really excited for this. Faith just read it and she seemed to really like it. I don't know. I don't even know if we have any of the same vibes, but I'm excited. It's so pretty. I wish that Book of the Month had made this an add-on so I could have matching hardcovers, but that's okay. I'm still pumped. I still want to support the author. So the book that I went out for was this, The Night and the Moth. Everyone is so excited. So here's the thing. This book came out, I think, like 2 days ago, and I was like, I'm just going to wait to see if Book of the Month gets it, Aardvark gets it, whatever. And then I saw everyone and their mom getting it. So I went to Target, and Target has like this pink foiled edition, which is nice. I'm not usually a pink girl, but whatever. I went and they didn't have it. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Well, then I started to get FOMO. So then I drove to Barnes & Noble, once again, not a short drive, just to get it, because I was like, it's $5 off. I have a $5 coupon. It's $20 for a new hardcover. They're like, that's fine. It's better than Book of the Month, $17 or whatever. Anyway, and then I got there and the pages are horrendous. They're not bad. It's just they did sprayed edges, which is fine. Sometimes I like them, sometimes I don't. Anyway, they basically printed the words, the pages on like cardstock. It is like so thick and so heavy. So then I mobile ordered the Target edition, but I have the OCD. So I was like, man, if I get there and it's all messed up, I'm just going to return it, not to be insufferable, but like it's kind of expensive. So then I just went to my local bookstore and they had it, and like the edges are smooth and perfect. Like there's not really quite the same foiling, but I just like was looking at the book and I was like, I don't need the foiling. I don't need the fancy sprayed edges. Like, I just want to read this. Like, I want to consume it. Let me have it. Is it worth driving 30 minutes out of the way to maybe get a foiled book? And like, what if this isn't even a 5 stars? I'm just spending like 3 hours of so I was like, this is silly. So this is what I went out for. This is what I got $20 from my fiance for, because he knows that I've been like hunting for it. So I'm very excited. This is my first Rachel Gillick. I'm like hoping I love it so that I can like jump on the One Dark Window. Like, I love when I read a book by an author and it's like a new release, and then I'm like, oh man, I have a whole backlist to go through. But with Rachel, it's nice because she only has 2, which is my speed, because I only read like 4 books a month. So the last book that I got from the used bookstore is Beautiful People, Where Are You? This was a killer steal. I think it was like $9 for this hardcover. I had already bought all the books behind me, and I was like, I don't need another book. But this bookstore has a tendency to like put their books out on carts, and like they're always like slashed in half. I recently consumed the first 4 episodes of Normal People. And that was as far as I got, because I had such an emotional reaction to it. And I was like, I have to read this book before I finish this, because I think that if this show breaks my heart, I am not going to be able to handle the novel. So there's this like voice in my head that is telling me to read Normal People, but I'm also afraid because I don't want to get devastated. Like, it needs to happen at like a certain time so I don't ruin my own life. But now I've like the can of worms that is Sally Rooney. I like want to read it all. So $9 for this is I'm excited. So I've been really craving like stories about like beautiful friendships. I just hit like 20 years with my best friends, and I don't know. So I hope this is good. I hope I like it. I think I'm gonna do Normal People first, just to, I don't want to say protect myself, but I just like, I think that Normal People is going to move me. And like that way, if this doesn't afterwards, like that's okay. You know, it's fine. But anyway, so those are all the books that I have gathered recently, probably in the last 6 weeks. So I hope that you enjoyed this haul. I hope you don't think I'm a psycho. And I hope that you come back and keep watching. I think that I'm going to talk about all the books I read in May next, and then I'm going to create my June TBR. So I I look forward to talking to you guys. This is like very weird and kind of like obscure for me. Anyway, so let me know what you picked up this month in the comments below. If any of these on my TBR or recent haul are like, girl, you need to read those right now. Let me know what your feedback is, and I will catch you in the next one. Have a good day. Bye.